What are you supposed to do when you love someone so much that you actually don't know what to do? Speaking for myself, I know already that I am a highly empathic and a highly sensitive person, and the feelings of loving someone or wanting to love someone or wanting to be loved back by someone is such a powerful and dominating experience in my mind and body that I often in the past did not know what to do with it. So just to express my craving to love and be loved, I used to do things like people please, or put everyone else first, or ruminate about the person, or obsess, or chase, or seek validation in places, well, where I wasn't going to get it, and where I probably wasn't going to find happiness from getting that validation to begin with. Do any of those behaviors sound familiar to you? They probably do because, well, those are human traits we do sometimes for our own survival. So I'd like to share with you now what I had to learn in my journey to not implement some of those behaviors I mentioned before for the sake of survival. And I want to introduce to you some ideas and thoughts of how I was able to learn how to wildly love another person in a healthy way. And not only in a healthy way for the other person, but also for myself. And that's power, my friends. And by the way, this learning that I had to go through in my own life applies to romantic love, brotherly love, sisterly love, and just love. And so to really explore it, let's first quickly unpack, well, what is it to love someone? Is to love someone possession? Is to love someone control? Is to love someone some form of attachment with some form of outcome? Well, it turns out when you look into it, love is something more profound than any of those things and way more simple than any of those ego-driven mindsets I just talked about there. So let's actually look back to the masters, to our ancients, to our predecessors. Let's go back 10,000 years worth of religion and spirituality because they all left clues, those predecessors of ours. And we hear different words in different languages talk about this idea of love and the outcome of love and the byproducts of love. Maybe you've heard it as enlightenment or transcendence or nirvana or sanctification. Whatever word it is, all the words have one thing in common in this lineage of 10,000 years of religion and spirituality. We all seem, under all universally to agree, we all want to feel good. We all want to feel happy. We all want to feel happy. And we want the people around us that we love to feel good, to feel happy as well. In fact, I can say as a coach and as the host of the Gratitude Slam on Facebook that I've yet to meet a person that doesn't want to feel inner peace and happiness more often and for longer periods of time. So if we really look at what all these great texts and spiritual leaders are saying, they're saying this: to love someone is to wish them to be happy. To love someone is to wish them to be happy. Now, take careful notice that I'm not saying to make them happy. You don't control if someone's happy or not. We're saying to love someone is to wish them happy. Happiness, inner peace, fulfillment. So, if we look at it through this lens, to love someone at the purest form as a human being is to simply display the act of wishing them happiness. Or display the thoughts. Or just have the thoughts. Maybe there's no display. Imagine what life will be like to just wish more people happy. Whether strangers, friends, family, loved ones, exes, estranged people. Like, imagine what that would feel like to wish people you don't understand happiness. Chew on that one for a second. But most importantly, because, hey, let's get selfish here. Imagine who you'll grow into and your capabilities if you practiced wishing those around you happy more often. So here's a crazy thing that studies have shown. Compassionate people are happier, and happier people are more compassionate. And wishing on someone that they experience happiness, regardless to your actions or involvement that you take or do not take with them, that's very compassionate. And that does mean, by the way, that simply wishing more people happiness will increase greatly the probability of you experiencing happiness for yourself more often and for longer periods of time. And by the way, I'm not saying you have to agree with other people's lifestyle choices or the life decisions that they make. But that doesn't mean, because you may not be aligned with the decisions they make, that doesn't mean you can't still wish them happiness without attachment in the way you wish they were showing up. I can wish you happiness and still not agree with the decisions you're making in your life. I can wish for you happiness even if you're not showing up in a way that is congruent with my value system. Really think on that. So, as your coach, I always like to give you a little coaching exercise here so we can practice it in real time. Because as we practice, we become. So 1, envision someone in your life that you're ruminating on a lot lately. And whatever this means to you, I want you to practice right now wishing them happiness. And this might require some working around in your mind, and that's okay. Progress, not perfection. And if you want, you can start with someone that might have a little less complexity in your life. But I still challenge you to find wishing happiness or inner peace or sanctuary for others. Like I said, the more you practice wishing happiness, the more you become happiness. As we practice, we become. To love someone is to hope them happy. And guess what? I hope you happy. I love you.